Okay, so I'm going to tell a story or two, and this is going to be for the Mark Hope Show website. One of the things that I'm working on is producing web content utilizing AI and some of the technology that would be out of reach for some people. I'd like to develop that for some of my smaller charities. And this video is going to be telling a story, but it's on a bigger level. And if you want to go to the markhope.com website and see what I did with this video and follow up, it'll be in the charities section. But one of the things that I'm most proud of in my working career was I started a business after I was working for corporate America and decided that's not a great idea. So I started a used computer business. And because I was an executive for this rental car company, and I decided, I am not going to do this the rest of my life. I got to see if I can do something that I want to do, not what I have to do. And I was wearing a suit. I was putting my sack lunch inside of my leather briefcase. I was making a lot of money, but I wasn't happy. And so I decided to start this used computer company. And my dad didn't want me to do it, and that's a story for another time, and I will definitely tell that story. But anyway, started this used computer business, and very rapidly I had people coming in that wanted to get help with donations and things like that, and I decided that we would try to give back to the community as much as we could. We gave cops discounts so that they could protect our stores from being broken into. And, any good charity is benefiting people on several different levels. And you have to incentivize the community to really get acclimated to giving as a part of their business. And it can be part of your marketing program. But we were giving away these computers, and back then in '94, when I founded Action Computers, which is still a company that's around today. We sold it in 2019. But when I founded that company, computers were really expensive. I mean, they were like $400, $500, $600, $1,200. I mean, they were a lot of money. And so I could say one of the things that I've done that I'm most proud of is we gave away a computer a day for 25 years. At least a computer a day. 365 computers a year at least. And that's one of the things I'm most proud of. And my thought process was, if we can get a computer in the hands of, especially a youth that is in the ghetto or a computer is not available to them, if we can put a computer in front of that individual and change their life so they learn about computing and they can get a job and branch off and not learn about selling drugs or prostituting or stealing car stereos or, joining a gang or something like that. If we could make one change, it would be worth the entire process. And so that was the mission. Well, it turns out that I was on a sales call with a large company, and I was trying to get their recycling business. And, we recycle technology was the tagline that we came up with back in the day. And RC Hope, my father, made all the logos back then. We had the recycling logo, and it was on the back of our t-shirts too. And So I was on the sales call, and it's no big recycling company does it, and we've got fixed pricing with them, and I don't think you'd be able. You're just getting started. I don't think you could match what they're doing. And I leaned over the desk and I told the guy, I said, what would you think if I said that I would do 90% of the recycling for free? I would set up a federally inspected wiping level for the data destruction and be able to lock it in a cage and make sure that nothing would enter that warehouse without getting the data wiped. And then I would donate a bunch of computers in your name, and I already have the structure, I already have the nonprofit, I already have everything set up. Not only would you not be paying me, but you could write off any of the computer stuff that you gave me on your taxes as a charitable deduction. And I would give you proof of all the computers that I'm giving away, that you give me. And the guy said, you can do that? And I said, I'll prove it. And he gave me 100 computers. And we refurbished them. And we took a lot of the computers and sold them in our retail store because that's our business. That's reuse is the highest form of recycling. So we sold them in our retail stores, but we teamed up with a company called Tech for All. And that's going to become important later, and I might do it in another video, but Tech for All hired a bunch of disabled folks. A lot of Downs folks were tearing apart the computers and getting a useful life out of doing that. But Roseanne would call me and say, hey, look, I need 100 mice, I need 100 keyboards, I need, these, monitors, whatever, to fit the pro forma of the computers that she was donating. Different from us. She was donating a whole bunch of other ones. That didn't include the ones I was donating. So the number's probably, 10x. But we would give them all the supplies to fund their operation as well as the one that we were doing and donating. And it was very, very enriching to me. And I still get people calling me to this day. My son was on a very bad road and he got the computer from you and you let him hang out in the shop. And some of these people that we donated computers to, we hired them at Action Computers as sales guys and computer technicians after that. And they were really good. So don't forget that you can get good by doing good. It's a mixture. Everybody needs to eat. Everybody needs to run their business. But if you can find a way that you can help somebody along the way, God's going to look after you. And everything that you're doing is going to flourish under that umbrella. So that's the story of Action Computers since 1994 to 2020-ish, donating a computer a day to folks that needed it. And if nobody told you they love you today, I love you, and there's not a darn thing you could do about that.